Thank you, brothers and sisters. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, to whom all praise is due, the Lord of all the worlds. And I forever thank Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, for giving to us his messenger, the last of them, the last of the prophets, the last of the apostles.
That's right.
That will come to a downtrodden and ignorant people.
That's right.
That's right.
Right.
In the Western Hemisphere.
That's right.
No other one will come to us. No other one will come to us as God, as Allah in person.
That's right.
No other one will come. This is the last. You have went the last mile with Messenger Elijah Muhammad.
Yeah.
Now is the time for you and I to take up and use that was given by him.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes, sir. Right.
And if we don't do so, let's all forget it and go and jump in the lake.
That's right. That's right.
Brothers and sisters, as you know how hard it is to get people to hear the truth,
Yes, sir. That's right.
how hard it is to get people to hear me, John Muhammad.
Right. That's right.
Very, very hard for people to understand the truth.
That's right.
That's right.
As the minister just said, yes, I bear witness. I am your last one.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
I am glad to see our brothers and sisters here from the South.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
It is just as hard in the South as it is in the North
Yes,
Yes,
right.
sir.
for the truth. People in the West, people in the East are going under so many different and in so many different organizations that the poor man that's looking for the truth, he don't know what way to turn.
That's
right.
right. Think about it.
But we must today remember that a God has visited America, and if we take his advice that he gave to his messenger, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, peace be upon him, we would today understand who we are, what we are,
That's right.
and where we came from.
That's
That's
right.
right.
I sure expect more people here today than what I see.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
That's right, I did. But Mecca was a hard place for Muhammad
Listen.
to conquer.
That's right.
They fought him.
Right.
Every time he came to Mecca, he got in a fight.
Yes, sir. Teach you, Freeman.
I'm talking about the one 1400 years ago.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
That Mecca at that time and at this time is only a sign of the Mecca in the west.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right.
That's why it says the sun will rise in the west.
That's right.
You won't go to the east to worship the religion of Islam. You will do so in the west.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
And in the west will be a man who has came and brought the truth to a people that never knew the truth. So many, as I say, of our people today don't know Islam, have no knowledge of it,
That's right.
and thinks that they know all of it.
That's
That's
right.
right.
That's right.
That's what holds us back.
That's right.
Plus the Christians, who also is a holdback for you and I.
Right. That's right.
Then the devil, he sits back on his thrones and grin,
That's what you do. Yes, sir.
saying, I got him now.
That's right.
That's right.
Well, he's right.
Yeah.
He sure got him.
You got
That's right.
Brother and sisters, my talk to be with you today is about Master Farad and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Right on time.
But first we want to say to you, you excuse me, look, it seems as though that a bug been around me somewhere. But after all, buddy boy, you might as well just step aside. I'm
That's
coming
right,
through
brother.
anyhow.
That's right.
Yep, after today, then you can grab me until next Sunday. You know, out of all of the invitations that we sent and post for people to come today and join us in the worship of the birthday of Master Farad Muhammad, year of 1877, February the 26th, born in the holy city of Mecca in the east. Born to be none other than God in person. That is what we want to talk to you concerning God and his messengers. His messenger, not messengers. So many messengers has been,
That's right.
and so many gods have been.
That's right. That's right. Right. That's right.
I'm going to start with you about 76 trillion years ago.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
But I'm not going to stay there all the while. This is what I'm going to talk to you with or concerning today is none other than what Messenger Elijah Muhammad has taught us. I can't teach about myself. You can do that better than I can. I say to you that the last one that would have the knowledge carrying to the people from the messenger Elijah Muhammad would not be considered much among the people. Many of the people will not consider John Muhammad.
That's
That's
right.
right.
Well, Brother John, why would you start? Did you know this before you started? Yes, I did.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
Then why would you start to do a thing that you know that people will not consider you so much? We just known in 13 or 14 states now, but there's not many people that understands and knows that I'm with you.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
That's right.
Why would you start? I start because I made a promise. Well, why did you make the promise? Because I love Islam
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
in the way that I was converted in it.
Yes, sir.
I love Islam because I love him that brought it to us.
That's right.
I love Islam in the way that it's being taught or was being taught by Master Farad Muhammad and his messenger Elijah Muhammad, peace be upon him. I love Islam. Excuse me, I might blunder a little bit.
Take your time.
But in a way, you know what I'm saying. I love Islam the way that it was taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who have the truth and brought it to us.
That's right.
I believe in this truth more than I do any others that say they have the truth.
That's right.
I cannot believe what others say on account of the first words that I received was from Master Farad, and the second was from the messenger Elijah Muhammad. I can't say that I heard Messenger Elijah Muhammad teach Islam before I heard Master Farad.
Right. That's right.
Because I heard Master Farad teach Islam before the messenger started teaching it. Therefore now, since the messenger started teaching Islam, and he taught exactly what Master Farad taught, then there was my two witnesses.
That's right.
Right.
Yes, sir. Right.
I have no other witness better than them two.
Right. Right. Right.
Therefore today, I'm trying to fulfill the promise that I made with these two,
Yes, sir.
Master Farad and Messenger Elijah Muhammad. Peace be upon him. I ask questions to many people
That's right.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Yes, sir.
to come forth to me and condemn me.
That's right.
No one comes to condemn me
That's right.
that Master Farad Muhammad was not God in the person, and Elijah Muhammad was not the messenger of Allah.
Yes, sir. Bring it. Yes, sir.
No one comes. Sometimes you can hear hearsay
That's right.
Right.
of some little foolish person
That's right.
saying you're wrong. That's hearsay. I'm talking about people coming to me directly to condemn Master Farad and Messenger Elijah Muhammad and myself.
Right.
We don't have that. Is that why you taking this journey, Brother John, to carry on the message of your brother? No, I taken the journey because I promised it to Master Farad and the messenger about 2 times. The best 2 out of 3, as we used to call it, right?
Right.
Right.
My first promise that I made with Master Farad was at 504 Woodside Avenue in Ferndale, Michigan.
Yes, sir.
I made the first promise there at a official meeting and teachers meeting. And also we had a little picnic that day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
These two was there, Master Farad and Messenger Elijah Muhammad. Master Farad asked the question to us all. He says, will you remain here until I come back? Will you be here until I come back? We said yes. That was a promise, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Yes, I will be here. He says, will you follow me no matters or regardless to where I go? We said yes. Now remember, to follow a person, no matter where they go, if you are dead or if you is alive or if you should go away from them and remain away, and he leaves the work for you to follow, then there it is.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Take your time.
So I said, yes. And one of my brothers is here now that was there. That's Minister John Muhammad. There he is, Minister John Muhammad.
How was that?
Yes, sir.
You certainly was. If not, then I was looking at a ghost. And I don't think I've seen one since I become a Muslim.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
All praises due Allah for you. There said another brother of mine, which was not there, but he made his promise that he would follow. My brother Johnny, he's sitting right there. My 2 blood brothers that's alive today. 3 of us living from the 8. You don't mind me taking my time?
No, sir. Go ahead, sir.
I'm not praising them or trying to sit them on the housetop. They're already up there. Master Farad put them there.
Yes, sir.
I can't take them down and I can't put them up. Now, he made a promise also that he would be here when he returned. That's been a long time ago.
Yes, sir.
Some of you wasn't born when these promises was made.
Right. Right.
That's been over 54 years ago.
Yes, sir.
Now, the next time that I made a promise, neither one of these brothers was around. That promise I made with him in Gary, Indiana, with Master Farad. I was the secretary at that time. I hope I'm still on my subject. You know it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You got it.
I had went to see Master Farad, 3 of us, my 2 brothers, Messenger Elijah Muhammad, and Captain Kalat Muhammad. We were sent to come to him, and we went. We were there. We drove my brother's car that I was running around with, that was in the temple at that time. I was not married then. We drove his car, Hupmobile, at that time. You remember the Hupmobiles, don't you?
Yes, sir.
So we was running around together, and Khalad asked him, says, "Let me use your car. Mine is in the shop." We was very poor at that time. Everybody in the temple didn't have a car. No. So the fruit bought Captain Kalat a 1932 Buick, straight 8, as they call it. You remember the straight 8s, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yes, sir. Seen them.
Well, it was in the shop when we went to Chicago then. In Gary, Indiana, on our way back home, after sitting in the hotel with Master Farad, spending the night with him there, man that was secretary in Detroit, which I took over after he was moved to Chicago, named Ben Salakan. You might know him, you might not. I don't think many of you know him.
No, sir.
And we sit there with him all night. I couldn't make it all night the second time because I was up all night before.
Yes, sir.
But I went as far as I could go.
Yes, sir.
I went until after 1 or 2 o'clock up. That is where that I learned that night while he was talking. I learned from him, Master Farad, how you are birthed. He taught us that night. Not how you personally, I would say, but how a man or a person is birthed into the world. How the foundation, he taught it to us that night.
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yes, sir.
After leaving there the next day, he came as far as Gary, Indiana. He said to me, he says, "John?" I said, "Yes, sir." He says, "Don't be so hard on the people writing for their name. So don't be so hard on them now. Whosoever write for a name," he said, "okay them. Okay their letters, so that they can get their name. And then you have them registered on the book." Minister John was the registrar. My brother John there.
Right.
And I did so, as I was told. Now, a lot of people have said concerning Messenger Elijah Muhammad that he took money and run away to Chicago. You might have heard that. Master Farad Muhammad told him there in my hearings, while we sit there in the in this, not a touring car, sedan, old Hupmobile. It was cold. You sitting there talking before he left, before we depart. I heard him when he said to Messenger Elijah Muhammad, "You, Kareem," call him Kareem, "you, Kareem, make your headquarters in Chicago." A lot of people say Elijah jumped up and ran away. But you don't know these things unless somebody tell you something that was there.
That's right.
Heard.
Right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And he talked about it all the way back home, the messenger did. And the date, I don't know whether I'm right on the date now or not, but I think it was September or October the 4th one of them months, but it was on the 4th. Messenger Elijah Muhammad moved to Chicago, 1934. Now you understand some of it, right?
Yes, sir.
All right then. Since you ain't gonna stay here all day with me, we used to have a word saying, "Gonna stay here till Moses come." So when this guy saw this cat with one front leg and one back leg come tipping down the stair steps, jumped up on the stove and ate up all of his pork chops, took the skillet, turned up the skillet and drinking the gravy from his pork chops. Cat looked around at him and said, "You gonna be here till Moses come?" Said, "No. If you ain't Moses, I'm gone." That was a bad cat. So I want you to stay to Mo's country.
Yes.
I made my promise there to Master Farad Muhammad and gave an answer. I said to him, after he told me what to do, I said to him, yes, I will follow you wherever you shall go, even if it's on the moon.
That's right. Yes, sir.
I'll try to find my way there.
Yes, sir.
He looked at me and he smiled. He said, that's good, John. You don't have to go on the moon. You're living on this part of it.
That's right,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
That's right.
Now, let us start a little talk here. There's other things that I had promised Master Farad and the messenger, on which you can learn as you come and visit.
That's
I'll
right.
tell
That's
it to you. People says he is not God in the person.
He say,
But today, 1877, he was born in the holy city, Mecca.
Yes, sir. All right.
The one that you go to.
Right.
He was born there. That's what he said. Now, if you can say different, you tell me where he was born.
Yes, sir.
right, right.
But I won't believe you,
That's right. That's right.
and I won't try to condemn you,
Right.
because you don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
I was born in Cordele, Georgia. Can you say I was not?
Oh, sir.
Because you don't know where I was born.
That's right. That's right.
I didn't either until somebody told me.
Right.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
78 trillion years ago, the messenger says, is the origin of our times in calculation. 78 trillion years ago. He taught us that.
Yes, sir.
And he says in 6 periods of time, the God came forth, taking him 6 periods of time to produce his own self. And the 6 periods of time is 1 trillion years. It taking him to come forward. And the 6 trillion years when it was up, the messenger says that brought us to the creation of the sun,
That's right.
which is 72 trillion years
That's right.
ago.
That's right.
Yes, sir. Teach me this.
That was the first God that came. Master Farad and Messenger Elijah Muhammad taught us that every 25,000 year cycle, a God is born.
That's right.
Teacher.
Right. Right. And his birth is according to the circumference of the earth,
That's right.
his home.
Yes, sir.
He taught us that when the first God came about, he found this earth, nothing else. This earth, it was first
That's right.
in its creation in the universe.
Yes, sir.
He taught us how he came out of triple darkness. And in the 6 trillion years, 6 periods of time, he was a atom of light in darkness. He had been there for trillions of years.
Yes, sir.
The messenger told me one time, and I said, messenger, I'm talking about Elijah Muhammad. I'm not talking about the man 1,400
Right.
years ago. I don't know nothing about him.
That's right. Yes, sir.
6 trillion years ago, living in the darkness of time, but there was a light. And that atom of light was living in the dark.
Teach it.
And when it got tired of living in the darkness of time, it wanted to make up himself.
Right.
Then it taken him 6 periods of time, 6 trillion years, to produce himself in the light. We say, according to the Bible, it says that God created the light and the darkness, right?
That's right.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So that spark of light being God, he had to be the first one
Right.
That's right.
to be in darkness to produce a universe and bring it out of darkness.
That's right. Teach, Brigham.
He had to be a God that is black to come out of that which that he created himself in to look like that
That's right. Yes, sir.
when he come forth.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
In the creation of the sun, when he came forth, he was tired of that light that he had been using. And he wanted a universe, and he said, be.
Right.
And there it was, the sun.
That's right.
Bible teaches us that the sun was the first thing, right?
Right.
Water, the earth, was void, the book says, right?
Right.
But he had called it forward. That's why one part of the Psalms and other parts of the Bible tells us that the earth is his footstool.
Yes, sir.
Right.
And if the earth is his footstool, then he got to be a man, right?
That's right. Yes, sir. That's right.
He's not a spirit.
That's right. That's right. That's true.
You know, the Christian people is not the only people that believe that God is a spirit.
Right. Listen.
That's right. That's right, brother.
Where's
That's
Brigham?
Bring it on.
You have 6 other different denominations of religions of greatness, which is called 6 great religions of the world.
That's right.
Now, I'm not going to bother with religions too much. Not today.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
I want to talk about you after a while.
That's right.
Yes, sir. Where's you? Yes, sir.
You have Buddha, Confucius, and so on
Right?
until you complete with Islam. The Islam, the last one came up, right?
Right.
The last religion, Islam.
Yes, sir.
Well, the messenger says it was the last one that was known 1,400 years ago to the Arabs.
Did you, brother?
1,400 years ago, a book that is called the Quran was revealed to Muhammad.
That's right. This.
Now, if 1,400 years ago, the religion of a God who created himself and brought himself from triple darkness into the light of the universe 6 trillion years ago, and in the same book tells you, says, this day
Yes, sir.
I have perfect for you your religion,
Right?
and has chosen for you Islam
Right.
as your
Right.
religion, right?
That's right. Teach the book.
Then it was older
That's right.
than back there, right?
That's right.
1,400 years ago.
Yes,
That's
yes, sir. Covers up.
Make sense. Yes, sir.
Even the Christian Bible is older than the Quran, right? Now, how is it that it just now become to us
Good brother. Make it play, brother. That's good.
Islam?
Right.
Because of a man that said that he was a prophet, and in the book says he was a prophet, right?
Go ahead, teach us.
He brought this religion to his people.
That's right.
After bringing it to his people, which was the Arab, Muhammad was an Arab, just like these others.
That's right. That's right.
He was moral,
Right.
just like the other men. He was born from a woman, gotten by a man,
That's right.
That's right.
just like you and I,
That's right.
just like Jesus,
Right. That's right.
That's right.
just like Moses,
That's right.
just like Abraham,
Right.
That's right. Think
just like all of those prophets beforehand.
Yes, sir.
Think about it. That's right.
Now look, Muhammad, you said was revealed to you.
Yes, sir.
How about Abraham, who lived in the other 25,000
Yes,
years?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, teach, bring it.
Long time before you appears, Muhammad.
Right.
That's right.
That's right.
Think about it.
Long time before you can say that you is a messenger of Allah.
That's right.
That's right. Think about that.
Abraham was.
That's right. Right. Did you, brother?
2,000 years ago, according to the Bible,
Right.
Jesus said Abraham was even before him,
Yes, sir.
right?
That's it.
But it was Abraham that named you Muslims, right?
That's right. That's right. Go ahead, teach.
Abraham was a friend of God, the Bible says, right?
Yes, sir.
So does the Holy Quran says Abraham was a friend to Allah.
That's right.
That's right.
If Abraham and Allah walked together,
Yes, sir.
or if Abraham and God walked together, one can be seen. Wait a minute. One of the gods can be seen and the other God cannot be seen, which the Christians represent.
Right. That's right. Go ahead and teach.
But the God that we represent can be seen.
That's right. Yes, sir.
So Abraham was on our side, right?
Right. Go ahead, Spring.
He walked and talked with him.
Right.
That's right. That's what it says. Think about it.
He even made promises to him, didn't he?
Right. Yes, sir.
That's right. Teach.
He tells Abraham in Bible that your seeds will become a stranger and lost
Yes, sir.
in a land that is not theirs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead, teach the books.
That's right.
And in that they become lost and has served 400 years, Abraham. I myself, I'm not going to send somebody else to Abraham
Right.
because you my friend.
Yes, sir.
And these is your people that is going to be lost.
That's right.
I won't send somebody else.
Right.
I'm not going to send Moses because Moses is dead.
Right. Yes, sir. Go ahead, teach. Yes, sir. Go ahead, teach.
I'm going myself.
Right.
Abraham did not ask that question there, but he asked it in another form. Be patient with me.
Yes, sir.
Wake us up.
When Abraham talking with his friend who is Allah, he said, how do you rise from the dead?
Right.
Yes, sir.
How do you rise a man from the dead? Allah.
Yes, sir.
The messenger said to me one morning, he said, brother, do you remember reading that? I said, yes, sir. He says, why he asked that kind of a question?
That's right.
I said, I don't know, sir. He says he asked that question so he thought that he could rise some from the dead. Huh?
Teach. That's right.
He asked that question. The messenger said to me, he says, no. So you can't rise a man from a physical death
That's right.
Right.
That's teach. That's
after he's dead.
right. That's right.
Now some tell me different, but the way I read it, it was not like that.
Right.
He said to Abraham, the messenger said to me, he said, that was not none of Abraham's business.
Yes, sir.
So if God had wanted him to really to know how to raise the dead, he said he would have told him.
Right.
So, but he gave him a problem to work on.
Yes, sir.
He said to Abraham, he says, go get your 4 birds, Abraham.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But it's one thing that I want you to do. Train them. Train them first. Some say he told them to cut them up and go put a piece on this mountain and a piece on that mountain. But one of the books that I have says that he didn't tell them to kill the birds.
That's right.
He said train them.
That's right.
And take one and place on each mountain and then you go and call to them.
Right.
And they'll come to you, Abraham, flying. They will come to you flying.
Yes, sir.
The messenger says, that is me.
Yes, sir.
Him, not me, not me, but him. He's talking to me. He said, that is me. And the four corners of America
Yes, sir.
and in the four cardinal points of the earth. He said, you want me to prove it to you, brother? I said, well, I couldn't say yes or no. You know, I'm a little boy sitting there. I'm just looking, you know. I want to hear. Teach me, brother, teach me.
Yes, sir.
He says, in the poison book, which we call the Bible, you know.
That's right. That's right.
It tells us about the sea giving up the dead
That's right.
in Revelation at the sound of the trump. I ain't talking about the one Minister Farrakhan.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Yes, sir. That's right.
We're talking about the one Elijah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's right.
Yes, sir. Right.
He says to me, he says, you read where the angels standing on the four corners of the earth? I said, yes, sir. He says, and there one came out. And he said to the foe, hold the wind.
Right.
Don't let it blow. He said, brother, you know what the wind is? I said, no, sir. He said, that's war and trouble.
That's right.
And he told the four to hold the winds of war. Hold the winds of trouble until I have sealed the servants of God in their forehead.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Now, a lot of people think that all of the black peoples in America have to be sealed by Master Farad Muhammad, right?
That's right, they think.
No, you can seal your own self.
Yes, sir.
Have you got proof for that, John? Yes, I got proof from what Master Farad Muhammad wrote.
Yes, sir.
He says, we don't agree. He says, the messenger and his laborers does not agree with the old prophets,
Right.
numbering 144,000.
Yes, sir.
Messenger said to me, he said, brother, when that time comes, I'll have far more than 144,000.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Oh, yes.
Yes, sir.
Teach.
He said to me, he said, we are going down so low like the old touring car.
Yes, sir.
A lot of us thought the old touring car was just talking about Christianity, didn't they?
Right.
Right.
Huh? If you know what I'm talking about, I'm in a problem that was written by Master Farad Muhammad. These here knows that because we teaches it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No, not just the Christian religion. He says there will come a fall,
Listen.
and this fall will take place in your day, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I say, in my day? He said, yes,
Yes, sir.
in your day.
Listen.
Now, what that's talking about
Listen.
Oh, yes, preacher.
You won't believe me if I tell you will.
Yes, sir. Oh, yes.
Go ahead and teach.
In your day.
Yes, sir.
This fall, when it comes, he says, you will find one here and there
Yes, sir.
Right.
believing in me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I said, yes. He said, yeah.
Yes, sir.
He says, but you know, a part in the lesson 1, at the 13th question, I think, have not you learned that your word shall be bond regardless to whom or what?
That's right.
Right there.
Yes, sir. He said, your word bond, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I was slow to answer.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He said, will you give your life before your word shall fail? I was slow to answer, brother and sister. Talking about my life.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Teach.
I got to answer this question correct to this man.
Right.
That's right.
He looked at me again, he said, and asked me again, he said, will you give your life before your word shall fail? It's easy for your word to fail, ain't it, brother?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. He said, but it's hard for you to give your life. I said, I'll give my life before my word shall fail on this account.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Stand up.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Yes, sir. That's right.
Yes, sir.
You should be glad
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
that you got a brother
That's right. Right.
That's right.
who give his life
That's true.
for Islam.
That's right. Absolutely true. That's right.
I don't have men walking up and down the street to guard me,
That's right,
That's
brother.
right.
and I'll call every pale face,
Yes, sir.
That's right.
That's right.
long stringy
Yes, sir.
hair,
That's right. Yes, sir.
blue eyes,
That's
right.
right. That's right. I'm with you.
dog,
That's right. Oh, yes, that's right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
devil,
That's right. Yes, sir.
white man.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
I'll call him a dog any day.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
He knows it.
That's right. You know it. That's the truth.
He knows it.
That's the truth. That's true. Oh, yeah. All right. That's right. That's the truth.
Brother and sister,
Yes, sir.
let me tell you, when the messenger got through with me, I left him that Monday morning. He taken me to the train station, just me and him, and I was the only one boarding the train at that for Detroit, at that post where I was supposed to stand. He looked at me while the train was there on Englewood in Chicago.
Yes, sir.
The train comes around a little curve.
Yes, sir. Right.
Just me and him standing there.
Yes, sir.
He said, brother, here it comes. I said, yes, sir. He said, you'll soon be back home.
That's right.
I said, yes, sir. Looked at him, and his color
Yes, sir.
was beginning to change. When the train stopped completely, well, I wasn't looking direct at him right then when it stopped. But when the conductor put the little step down for me to step up on,
Yes, sir.
when I stepped up, he hollered, all aboard?
Yes, sir.
The train said, yaka. The messenger looked at me and said, brother, keep up prayer.
Yes, sir.
Train said, stop. That's right, stop. He said, keep up prayer. I said, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
I will.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I came home. I felt and looked at the messenger, how he stood there when he said that. Tears were running down from his eyes. I got on the train, just as the train pulled off again. She made that second pull. Left. I says, well, ain't many people here on this train. I'll make my word bond now at the starting on this vehicle. I prayed at my seat.
Yes, sir.
Come on home. So well, so much for that. That is the promise I made, and with my prayer, Allah had blessed me.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
And if you be with me, you'll be blessed.
That's right.
With what you want.
Yes, sir.
Now let's get further. In the 7 or 8 trillion years, there had been 3,120,000 gods born.
Yes, sir.
All right. This is better.
3,120,000 gods were born by being birthed, one every 25,000 years.
Teach, brother. How come? How come?
So it comes all the way down through the creation and of time. The messenger says there was a God born 66 trillion years ago, at the time of the departation of our moon.
Right.
Yes, sir.
The one out there.
Yes, sir. Teach,
The one we have here.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Take it, brother. Yes, sir. Come on with it.
There was a God born.
Yes, sir.
That God was an evil God.
That's
Right.
Right. Right.
Remember now, evil didn't just start at the time of Yakub.
Teach.
Right.
Teach. Yes.
There's evil gods today
Yes,
Yes,
right.
sir.
Yes, right.
among black and white,
That's right.
red and yellow,
Yes, sir.
green and purple. As evil gods.
That's right. Yes, sir.
You have some black gods today wants to be God.
Right.
Teach, brother. Teach.
But I like to meet them.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I like to meet them on the Mount Kimball.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Like the messenger told me when he went to Washington one time. He says, he wrote me and told me. No, he called me and told me. He says, brother, you're going to Washington, D.C. to hear me speak? I said, if the Lord spares. He says, that's right, if Allah spares. He says, you'll be there. I said, I certainly will. But I didn't go. Something happened. So I didn't go. But he told me, he says, I'm going up there to Washington, D.C. to prove Ahab's God is a false God.
Yes, sir.
That's what he told me.
Yes, sir.
And he did it.
Yes, sir.
66 trillion years ago, this evil scientist departed our moon from this earth that we live on and caused it to be in the shape that it is there.
That's right.
Now, a lot of people wonder, how could such a thing happen for him to depart this moon? Well, you come back and I will tell you I'm not going all the way through it because it's a subject itself.
Right.
But why? But why is this moon sitting out there seeking her way back? She makes 13 dips.
Right.
As she go around the earth, she can't travel around the sun by herself.
Right.
She has to travel with the earth. She makes 13 dips on her way with the earth, going back and forward dips in her distance from the earth. That's why she's small and why she's large. That's why she turns to this way and to the other way, whole and whatnot.
Yes,
the
sir.
moon.
That's right.
Because she's bobbing and weaving all the time like a boxer.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Teach me. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
And as she's doing that, the messenger says, someday she's looking to come back to the earth. That's why she's doing that. She's holding the water and keeping it in its bounds, but she wants to come back to the earth and claim some of her life, which is water. That's what he was teaching me that day. He would teach me all night and all day long after the departing of Master Farad.
Yes, sir.
When you read in the book, he said to me about Master Farad saying to us, hurry, 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 the time is at hand.
Right.
That's right.
He said, brother, do you know what that means? I said, no, sir. He said, that was not talking so much about us. That was talking about himself.
That's right.
He said his time was at hand.
That's right.
I'm on Saviours Day, all right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
His time was at hand.
Yes, sir.
Now that's been 50-some years ago
That's right. That's right.
since the writing of those 34 problems.
That's right. That's it.
And in all of the lessons, all of his teaching, when he used to stand on the rostrum, when I was sitting down there looking up at Master Farad teaching, he being a little fella about the size of the messenger, well, they both was about the same size because a brother bought the Master Farad 2 suits of clothes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And Master Farad gave the other one, give one, brother, to the messenger. Say, you take one. One is enough for me. Remember that time, Brother John?
Yes, sir.
All right. You know, a lot of people don't believe John. I have to have a witness.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
I've got to have a witness.
Right. Yes, sir.
They didn't believe John while he was out on the Isle of Patmos.
That's right. Go ahead and teach me.
He had to hold a weed up and ask the God, if you is here with me, let the wind blow.
Yes, sir. Go ahead and teach.
And if the wind blow, it will make this weed quiver in my hand.
Yes, sir.
I'll
Go
know
ahead,
that,
Freeman.
right?
Go ahead and teach it.
Don't believe John.
Go ahead and teach it.
That's all right.
Yes, sir.
One of these days, I'll hold something up in my hand.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
You think I don't have it?
Oh, yeah, sir. You got it, brother. Yes, sir.
Got it.
Oh, yeah.
See, the stuff some of these others got is a toy.
That's right.
But old John got the real McCoy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Yes, sir.
This evil scientist wanted to kill all of the people on the earth.
Right. That's right.
Destroy everybody. The messenger says, but we, being of the tribe Shabbat,
Right.
when this earth was departed from the moon, We were like children. Listen closely. We were like children playing out in the yard. Some in the front yard, some on the side of the house, right side, and some on the left side of the house. But we was a little further back in the backyard. So when the explosion come, brother, it took all of the others away. All but this tribe sitting here in the back.
Right.
And as the earth drops herself down about 12,000 miles and falls into another pocket,
Yes,
and
sir.
the earth and the atmospheres, brother, caught it. The sun caught it, and she kept up her rotation around the sun. Now she wobbles, he says.
Yes, sir. Teach.
You hear me?
Yes, sir. Teach.
This ain't my teaching, brother. This is what my brother taught
Yes,
me.
sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Teach.
Now she wobbles as she go around the sun. She's not round anymore like she was
Right.
when we said it was a ball.
Right.
She's like an egg shape. And an egg cannot go around or roll straight. It'll wobble. He said that's the way we are.
Right.
On our way around that big ball of fire, brother.
That's right.
I said, thank you. Every time he opened his mouth, he had to tell me. She said, stop saying thank you so much. Oh, yeah. As we said in the church while he was talking to me, I could feel a burning in me. Oh, yeah. I could feel a burning in me
Yes, sir.
while he would talk.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. You have to excuse me.
Go ahead.
See, the Christian says, when you talk about Jesus,
Right.
you're talking about a friend of mine, right?
That's what they say.
I says it a little different. When you talk about Elijah, you're talking about a brother of mine.
Right.
Although he was our Jesus,
That's right.
That's right.
he was our Jesus.
That's right. That's right. That's brother.
But he was not the long-awaited Jesus.
Right.
That's right. Listen.
The long-awaited Jesus was Master Farad.
That's right.
Right.
He said that.
That's right.
I heard him say it, and my brothers heard him say it.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I got another witness. Excuse me, my sister Emma. You sitting over there.
Yes, sir.
Well, I got 3 witnesses, and I make 4.
Right. Yes, sir.
And he said, if it's 4 witnesses together, I am the 5th one.
That's right. That's right.
If it's
Right.
3, I'm the 4th one. If it's 2, I'm the 3rd one.
Yes, sir. What he said.
Don't get out of patience now.
Take your time. No, sir.
Be a whole 7 days before I come back to you again.
Yes, sir.
If it be his will.
Yes.
After he had, wait a minute, after he had departed the moon from the earth, today, have you ever noticed what the men who went to the moon
Yes, sir.
and took pictures back on the earth, have you ever noticed anything about the earth? They didn't tell you, but I will tell you.
Yes, sir.
If you notice it, on one side of the earth, you see a part look like where it was broken off
Right.
at, right?
That's right. Listen.
That's a picture that was taken by the astronauts.
That's right.
That is the part there where this scientist had drove this tube into the earth.
Yes, sir.
And when he did so, he caused mountains to be in certain places. More than one or two places of the earth. Mountains. Which the Holy Quran calls pegs.
Yes, sir.
On the earth. That is the broken part of the moon. That is why you see much of these mountains because of the explosions that was made. Many of the things that we see today is done. It was did years and hundreds and thousands of years ago. So we leave the moon. Then we come down now to another man. After he couldn't destroy us all. The messenger says he came. We see another man. The scientists saw another man who was a scientist. And his name was Shabazz.
That's right.
And about 50,000 years ago, he was dissatisfied.
That's right.
So he took his family away from Asia, that part of the earth. Because at that time, we didn't have all of this cut up. Like America, Germany, Italy, and so forth. We didn't have all of these kind of countries in China. We didn't have that. The book even tells you, said they named these places after themselves.
That's right.
That's right.
50,000 years ago, this scientist moved his family down into Africa.
Right. That's right. Right.
In no man's land.
Right.
Yes, sir.
No human being was there when he went there.
That's right.
He went there because that he had a knowledge that someday these people of mine will become a slave for another people. Remember, listen now, Abraham said, in the day that they shall become strangers and is lost and serving another people in a land that is not theirs, will you go there? Remember that.
Yes, sir.
So when he moved into Africa in no man's land, he had to make this people hard.
That's right. That's right.
Talking about you and me.
Yes, sir.
That's right. That's right.
No white Africans was there.
That's right.
No green Africans
That's
was there.
right.
They all was naturally black. Excuse me. That's why I'm trying to take my time so this frog don't jump out of here. 50,000 years ago.
That's right.
The messenger said, now ask God in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, how old the animals was? He said he looked at him. Told him, said, if you ask me that again. But he felt sorry for him. And he told him, he came back after he felt sorry for him and come back and told him, says, we have always had animals on earth.
Yes, sir.
Now the animals according to Bible, was made before man was on earth, right? Man is an easy something to make.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't hard to make. I prove that in this manner. Why I'm trying to prove everything so you don't have no question to ask me. I'm going to cover up these tracks, some of them.
Yes, sir.
Well, I say that he is easy to make because Bible and Quran says that in the day that he created male, he create also female.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
We had an argument one time while Master Farad was here, wanting to know which one was first, the woman or the man. He told us to read.
Yes, sir.
He didn't answer that question direct. He said, read it.
Yes, sir.
How far do you think you is ahead of this sister? How far do you, sister, think you is ahead of the man? You ever seen twins be born? They both came the same day, right? Even if there was 6 hours apart. Right?
Right. That's right.
I got twins. I know what I'm talking about. Hey, I got twins, and now one of my sons sitting back there. I got twins. There. I got twins. And they're about 5 minutes apart. When my sister, not my sister Emma there, but my sister Annie was living with me at that time.
Yes, sir.
I was sitting in the kitchen, and she come in there, she says, brother. I says, what? They was born at home.
Yes, sir.
I said, what is it, sister? What's the matter? I thought something had happened. She said, you got 2 little babies. What? You got 2 little babies. Well, I know that between my son Elijah and the twins was pretty close together, you know. And so I said, I said, yeah, sure is. She said, you don't know what I'm talking about. You got 2 little girls in the room. She didn't say twins yet. I jumped up. I know then what she was talking about. I jumped up and I went in the room and looked. And daddy little babies was 2 little girls. Their name is Frida and Louita.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes, you know them.
yes, sir.
That's right. Praise be our Lord. He knows them. Yes, sir. And I treats him as though if he's one of my sons.
Yes, sir. That's right. That's
Sure.
Very good.
So, this scientist going into Africa, moving into no man's land. In the history of Mr. Shabazz, that scientist, they were so wise until when they had stayed in Africa, began to raise in families, they almost went insane.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
By being so wise.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
That's
They could hear you talking. They knew where you was at
Yes, sir.
all the time.
Yes, sir.
He said that the people were so wise, says they had a way that they could produce fire from their hands, and if an animal should jump at them, they would burn them up in their tracks.
Yes, sir. Listen.
That's right.
Black man doing that.
Listen.
You don't know how, you don't know you God, do you?
Listen.
Yes, sir. Produce fire and burn up trash. Thousands of years ago. All right, what is the sign of that fire today, John?
Go ahead.
The sign today is Mother's Plain.
That's right.
Yes, sir. That's right. Oh, yeah.
Black man built Mother's Plain.
That's right.
On the Nipponese Island.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
They build the plane.
Yes, sir.
1,500 surf planes is on it.
That's right. That's right. Yes, sir.
And these men are so wise, the messenger says. And so did I hear Master Farad taught it. Time and again.
Yes, sir.
You can blindfold them and they can drop a bomb wherever that they want to. They can pilot the plane wherever they want to. Only one man gets to a plane.
That's right.
And the plane carrying 3 bombs and each bomb weighing 1 ton.
That's right. Listen.
But she's bad.
Yes, sir.
She's terrible. So the hand producing fire is like that of these men when they loose one of those atomic bombs filled with poison gas going 1 mile into the earth and destroying 50 square miles around. And after 50 square miles is destroyed, then here comes something out like poison gas, which is poison gas, he says. And as the wind blow it in its directions, if there's a man that is caught with a rock on his leg and he can't go anywhere, or if some is running trying to escape it, it will overtake them.
Right.
And when it touches you, he said if it hit at the end of your finger, you can't cut off fast enough before you is into powder.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
I heard that from Master Farad,
Yes, sir.
and the messenger taught it. What I'm telling you today is what I heard, what I learned
Yes, sir.
from Master Farad, from the messenger.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
What
sir.
I'm telling you today. And after we had stayed there for 50,000 years, we had completed the journey. But there was another people, the Indians, that was exiled.
Yes, that's right.
From India to America 16,000 years ago.
That's right. That's right.
About 10,000 years before a peck of wood was made.
Right. Yes, sir. That's right.
Before a peck of wood had any kind of a stringy hair.
That's right. That's right. That's it.
Blue, green, snake eyes.
Right. Yes, sir.
Long nose.
Right.
Talk about
Red neck.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Talk all the time like he got a big chew of tobacco in his mouth.
Right. Right. Sir.
I'm talking about white folks.
Yes, sir. That's right, brother.
You might be afraid to talk about them, but I love to talk about them.
Yes, sir.
But as I said, the time is at hand now. Not just Master Farad Muhammad's time. Your time now is at hand.
That's right. That's right.
Why was they exiled? Because they wanted to take up Buddha.
Right.
India today serves Buddha, but they have also Muslims there.
Yes, sir.
There's not hardly a continent
Yes, sir.
that there is not Muslims on.
That's right.
Plenty of them.
That's right.
Plenty countries have Muslims in it.
That's right.
China and Japan got lots of them.
Right.
And in the year of 1930, Russia had 80 million in Java.
That's right. That's right. Oh, yeah.
Muslims.
Yes, sir.
And the devil,
Right.
a white man, said the other night on his news that in the year of 2000, about 1 out of every 4 will be Muslims. I said to myself when I heard him, I said, come on, dog.
Yes, sir.
I heard Master Farad say that.
Yes, sir. That's right. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
He hear me. You think they don't hear me?
That's right.
That's right.
He ain't far from me right now. Listen at me.
That's right.
That's right. Think about it.
Give me a good earful.
Go ahead and listen, big boy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Give it to us.
Listen.
Yes, sir.
You know it.
Oh, yeah. Right.
When the messenger went to prison, they took all of his literature.
That's right.
That's what they did.
All of it. He told me so.
Yes, sir.
Because I had some that I had saved.
Yes, sir.
And he asked me for some of them. He said, brother, do you have so and so and so and such a thing, such and such a thing? I said, I got everything.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Today I'm supreme.
That's right. That's right. Yes, sir. That's right. Right. That's right. Yes, sir. That's right. That's right. Line. That's the bottom line.
That's right.
Bottom line. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead and tell it.
I have what others don't have. They think that they have it.
That's right.
That's right.
Remember, this was my brother teaching me.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Right. Think about it.
And me and my brother get in the backyard.
Yes, sir.
We'll dispute.
That's right.
We'll wrestle.
Yes, sir.
But yet, he'll tell me something he won't tell you.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
That's brothers.
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
Compare yourself with your brother.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Teach.
That's right.
Compare your sister with your sister.
Yes, sir.
Right. Think about it.
Your sister tell you
Right.
a guy she go with before she'll tell another woman.
Right. That's right. Think about it.
Man will do the same thing.
That's right. That's right.
He'll tell his brother a girl that he go with. Nobody know it but him and him
That's right.
Right.
Listen.
and the girl.
Yes, sir.
That's true.
That's the truth. That's right.
So it is with the God
Yes, sir.
and
Yes,
his
sir.
messenger.
Yes, sir.
Allah told Messenger Elijah Muhammad what he didn't tell Muhammad 1400 years ago.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. Think about that.
Oh yeah, he told him. I know some of the things.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We believe you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now let's come down a little farther. 15,059 years ago, one of the present 25,000 year calendar history. One was, oh, excuse me. Brothers and sisters, I don't know.
Take your time.
I want to finish with you.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. Take your time.
Take your time.
We with you. Just stay here till Moses come.
That's right.
Go ahead.
See, you're my brothers. You're my sisters.
Yes, sir.
That's right. You're my brother. You're my sister. I don't care what religion you say you belong to.
That's right. That's right.
You can say you're Buddha. You can say that you're Halifax. You can say you're Muslim. You can say you're Christian.
That's right.
I go by what I see.
Yes, sir. That's right. That's right. That's right.
When I look in the mirror,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's it.
I can't say there's no white,
That's right. That's
no
right.
black.
That's right.
I can't say that.
That's right.
Many black people says, I see.
Yes, sir, brother.
And I'm going to say, you're not black. I'm a liar if I say so. There's some say it's not like that. Not the color of the skin. It's in the heart.
That's what they say.
I'll talk with you for 1 second on the heart.
Yes, sir.
What is it that the heart produces?
Think about it.
What does the heart produces? If it's in the heart, and the heart only there, sitting there, on the portion of it is on the right, and portion of it is on the left, right?
That's right.
The bigger part of the heart sits on the left. Because the book says a fool's heart sits on his right, right? But I ain't seen a fool yet with a heart sitting over here. Huh? Now, what does this heart produce? This heart is sitting there as a motor.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That's right. Think about it.
It sits there and it pumps.
Right. That's right. Right.
Pump.
Right. That's right.
Pump.
That's right.
Now, when she stops, you dead. Huh?
That's right.
What did it do? It pumped that which has been made. Like the water in a steam engine. You see that, what you call that, Johnson? Something that goes there, pumping the steam for a motor to move on the train. You see steam comes out from that the box there.
That's right.
Just pumping.
That's right.
When this arm stopped pumping, steam stopped coming out.
Right.
Wheels stop. Everything stops the train.
That's right. That's the truth. Oh, yeah.
Because this arm has stopped.
That's right.
Now, if that heart stopped pumping the blood through your vein, you stop. Now, what else did the heart do? What's in that heart? Nothing but blood in it.
That's
Right.
And alleys that it pumps this blood through to be cleansed into the body. We say, let the heart be right. But then you are right if you say, let the heart be right. Because if it's wrong, you dead.
Yes, sir. Teach me.
So let us stop that old word saying, it's all in the heart. No, it's not neither.
Teach me, please.
No, it's not. It's all in your brain.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In your brain. Go ask the man who drank whiskey, smoked cigarettes. Dude, drug man. Ask him, did it come from the heart? Why you do that? Did the heart tell you to do that?
That's right.
Tell you no.
That's right. That's right.
My mind brings. All praises due Allah. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Let us, you got proof right? Yeah. Yeah, this man in the 6,600 years ago, a man conceived the same thing in his brains to make a devil white man out on the Isle of Pilan. He went to school when he was 4 years old, and at the age of 17, he had complete school completely.
Right.
And at the age of 18, he was standing around teaching people
Right.
to follow him. No white people.
Listen. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Where did it come from, Yaqub? Came from my head.
That's right.
While I was there playing with two pieces of steel, knocking them together, I saw a light of color.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Don't do that.
And as I was hitting them together, I said, look at it, I said, well, jumped up and run to my uncle, and I said, Uncle, when I'm old enough,
Listen.
when I'm old enough, it's a misprint in one of Muhammad's books saying that when I get to be an old man.
Right.
That's in Message to the Black Man. He says, when I get to be an old man. No, he didn't wait till he got to be an old man.
That's right.
He was at the age of 18.
Right.
And he began to teach the people all around
Yes, sir.
in Arabia there, where he was at,
That's right.
until he had got enough of them together, or until the king of Islam told him to get out of the Holy Land.
That's right.
Get out of here, dog. Get out of here. Because he was black now. He was not a white man. He never did see a white man.
Yes, sir.
Yaqub never seen a white man,
right.
though he was the cause of them to be made.
That's right. That's
He only lived 150 years,
that's right.
and it taken 600 years to make him.
That's right. That's it.
But they obeyed Yaqub's rules, regulations, and laws that he left there. If they didn't obey, he would kill them.
That's right. That's right.
Why he give us that history?
Listen.
Why? You don't obey now, do you? Don't want to obey now.
That's right.
But remember, we on the island,
Oh, yeah. That's right. That's right. That's right. Yes, sir.
and especially Detroit.
That's right.
We on the island.
That's right. Teacher.
Well, what's that got to do with it? We got to graft you now. We got some grafting to do.
Yeah.
We got to graft you out of your belief
That's right.
in that which is foggy.
Yes, sir.
We got to graft you now back into the belief that you is a ruler and not a nigger, but the black man of Asia.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's right. Right. That's right.
Black man grafted devil, white people from the black man. And the messenger signs it 1973 AD. 1973 AD, the messenger signs it. What are you talking about, brother messenger?
Yes, sir.
He saying, I told you, 6,600 years ago, he was grafted into a white man. Now we got to graft some black people.
That's right.
That's right.
I'm fixing to leave you.
Yeah.
73? I'm getting ready to leave you now.
That's what it is.
So when I went to the hospital and looked at my brother, I was fixing to go to a little island. I looked at him. I couldn't hardly hear his voice. I rolled his sleeves up. I said, let me look at your arm, brother. He said, go ahead. Feel back. I took his arm up and hold it. And I pushed the sleeves up. I looked at him, and there wasn't much big as their two thumbs. Just a bone and skin.
That's right.
Real little. His voice was so low, I could hardly hear him. I put my ears right to his mouth while he talked to me. I asked him, could I go? He said, yeah. Go, brother. Don't stop going. See this world. It is a beautiful world. I cannot go now. You can. Go, brother. And everywhere you go, mention my name.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
Oh, yeah.
said, yes, sir. He said, I know you will. And I asked him, I says, how do you feel? He says, well, I'm just here. Before that happened, me and my brother Johnny went to Chicago. Me and him was driving over there. I was sitting on the couch beside him. When I walked in, sit down beside him, I asked him, I said, after giving the greetings, I said, how do you feel, brother? He says, sick. He said, I'm sick, but I feel very well. About 5 minutes later, I asked him again, I said, how you feel now, brother? And I looked at me, he said, I done told you how I feel. I'm sick. You heard him. He said, I'm sick. I didn't ask him no more that day how he felt, nothing until I left. He cooked my goose right quick. I told you how I feel. Yeah, and he didn't mind doing it either. And didn't care who it was.
That's right. That's right.
He says that he was not just going away. Listen close at me.
Yes, sir.
Elijah Muhammad, my brother, is dead.
True.
A lot of people think he's still alive.
That's right.
That's right.
I know what you do not know.
That's right.
I know what he told me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I know how I kept up with him. He said I was closer to him than any brother. Many a time the messenger was away from home. I didn't tell my people, my brothers sitting here. He'd talk about him. I knew where he was at. They didn't even know. But he had told me where he was at.
Listen.
My wife didn't even know. He told me.
Yes, sir.
Right.
He sent for me one time. And I was living with my brother Johnny. I wasn't married at that time. He told me, he said, don't even tell your mother where you are going. When I tell you something other and tell you don't speak it, not until the time come. He said, don't you mention it. But my mother, pretty wise. When I was getting ready to go that morning, take the Greyhound bus to go, she said to me, she said, I know where you're going. I said, here it is now. Why are you saying that? You know, because he done told me, don't tell her where I'm going.
Yes,
Even
sir.
if it's your mother. I didn't say nothing. She looked at me and smiled. She said, say it again. She said, I know where you're going. You're going to see your brother, ain't you? I wouldn't open my mouth. Because if she hadn't have said that, that was a pull, you know.
Right.
Now you tell her where you going. Mama, I ain't gonna tell you. He said, don't tell you. I didn't tell her neither. But she knew. When I came back home, she told me, she said, I told you I know where you was going. I said, yeah, Mama, that's where I went. All over with now. That's where it went my obvious a little
Take
bit.
your time. Take your time.
We're going to go some Bible and Quran now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Come on.
A in his diagrams that he gives to us, A is the starting, like the starting letter. In the year 1, the beginning of the present history of the Quran. He says the present history of the Quran, not in the year 1 of the 25,000 year cycle. You get me now?
Yes, sir.
Not in the year 1 when the 23 scientists tuned in and said that would be a man born by the name of Yaqub, but in the year 1 of the present Holy Quran,
Yes, sir.
or the present history of the Quran.
Yes, sir.
13,080 years BC. The beginning of this present history. That was year 1, A. B, in the year of 8,400 of the Quran. And in the year 4,600 BC was the birth of Yaqub according to Bible. In C, 9,000 years, in the year of 9,000 of the history, taken up from year 1, bringing us into the 9,000 year of the completion of the making of the dog, white man.
Yes, sir.
Then we find 4,000 years in the year BC, before, in the year 4,000 BC is the Bible. Because she got 2,000 years there, which she goes back only 6,000 years, but she can't give an account of but 4,600.
Yes, sir.
You can't, it doesn't give an account of the whole 6,000 years. Was the birth of Yaqub. 9,000 was his making. According to Quran, according to Bible, according to Bible would be 4,000 BC, which was the making of the white race complete in Bible. He gave this. Now it's up to you to find these things.
Yes, sir.
Because he got to go away. I don't mean go someplace and coming back. You'll never see Elijah Muhammad
That's
anymore.
right.
That's right.
If so, this is in the 13th year. Let me pause here for you for a minute. In the time of Messenger Elijah Muhammad, and saying that he is going away somewhere and will be back. And you're living now in the 13th year of his death, right? Of his departure. You cannot find a man today that can point out where he is.
That's right.
I have published that if anybody know where my brother is, since I wants to see him and haven't heard from him in the 13 years, and we were so close together that people have mistaken me for him.
That's right. That's right.
And he always let me know when he moved or go to this place or that place, I know it.
That's right.
even from Detroit, even when you say he was running from a man to be killed, right?
Yes, sir.
I know where he was at.
Listen.
I know the first place he stopped at. He told me that one day the enemy was so close in behind him that the only train was leaving out of Chicago was going to Madison, Wisconsin. You say, I boarded that one, brother. He went there and he didn't stay but 2 or 3 days there. But I got the word from him where he was going then. But you didn't know that.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
No, you don't know it. People today don't know that I know.
Yes, sir.
My brother Wali Muhammad, the temple was named after on Linwood. He came by my house when the messenger was locked up in Washington, D.C. He was on his way to see him. He stopped by my house. I was living at 2278 Scott Street at Shane at that time. He sit there and he ate bread. He was sick. He ate bread. He was sick at that time. And he said to me, he says, I got to go right now, brother. I said, no. I said, eat something of it before that you leave. He said, that bread was a plenty. And he said, I got to go right now. He pulled his watch out and looked at it. I said, oh, brother, you did it wrong when you pulled that watch out on me. He was waiting for to go to the station to get the train to go to Washington, D.C. to see the messenger. He didn't tell me himself because he was told don't tell nobody where he went. But I knew it. Oh, yes.
So.
3 brothers, right?
Yep, that's right.
Now this one didn't tell me, not until he come back. But I know when he got there. Know what he did when he pulled his time out on me. Time is a calculator. If you can calculate time, how long will it take for this to go here or go there? He wrote it. The messenger told it in his theology of time.
That's right.
That's right.
So much knowledge there until it'll make a bald-headed man grow hair. That's right. Mine gonna grow back, don't worry.
All right.
See, right now, grass don't grow on a busy street right now. 'But just wait just a few days and you'll see a little hair coming up there. I'll be rested up. You see what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. $13,000 to $11,000 year came Musa, he says. And in 13,000 year, which would be AD 1. The Anonian year, right?
That's right.
Esau Ibn Yusuf was born,
That's right.
whose name was Jesus, right?
Right.
Yes, sir.
You're right.
And if I can't go all the way with you through this, but I could take one at a time for 2 or 3 hours with you, just one place. 13,000 and F 13,611. 611 AD, Muhammad Ibn Abdullah. That's the prophet, right?
That's right.
He comes about. And 13,000 years. That's another break the messenger taught us. That was another break. I don't know if you ever heard it or was ever told it or not. I don't know. You got 6,000 years in the break, and you got in the break of the 6,000 years, 1,400 years. So you got 2 breaks in the cycle of 25,000 years. Now, a major prophet does not come about but once every 2,000 years. Now, if Muhammad, came about in the 13,000 year, which would be in 611 years after the death of Jesus. And Jesus was a major prophet.
That's right.
Coming about once every 2,000 years. Now, what would Muhammad be if he didn't wait 2,000 years?
Yes, sir. T. Good question.
Yes, sir.
Master Farad Muhammad taught us. I'm still on Saviours Day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's right.
Master Farad Muhammad taught us that the Muhammad that came to the Arabs in the year 1300, when he came about, he was not a prophet. That's what Master Farad Muhammad taught us.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right.
Master Farad Muhammad said he was a warrior
Listen.
because he was all the time running here and there, running from people to be
Right.
killed.
That's right.
Not to be killed, rather. The messenger said that was a sign of him.
Yes, sir.
He said to me, he said, listen, brother, all of the history I was there. Just wait a minute. I'm going to tell you what I know and you didn't know it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Come on.
Go ahead, Speedy.
I was sitting there one night. We had talked till about 2 o'clock. After eating, everybody was gone. You see, I stayed in the house with him. He wouldn't let me go and stay in a hotel someplace when I would visit, unless that I just wanted to. I wanted to one night, and he called my hand. I was standing beside him. I said, I'll go with them to the hotel. He took my hand just like that and looked, and he said, you ain't going nowhere.
That's right.
You gonna stay here.
Yes, sir.
The rest of them went. All right. The captain, Rasco was captain at that time, and some brothers was with him, and they all went to a little hotel to stay in that night. I guess they was dead asleep. And me and the messenger sitting there talking. He says to me, he says, the man Muhammad, 1,400 years ago, he said he was a sign of me. He said, did we need a prophet at that time and Jesus was a prophet? What did we need with a prophet? He said, furthermore, Muhammad didn't go to our people. He sent a man over there. He didn't ever go to them. He went to his people. And in reading the Holy Quran in a certain part there, I find that some of his followers, one of his followers didn't want that Bilal to marry his daughter. Right?
Right.
And I also find in the Quran, in one part there, where that Muhammad said that, call you a nigger.
Right? Yeah. That's right.
Call you a Negro.
Yeah. Right.
He said a Negro. And the way he's put there is like this. He says, if a Negro give you an order, obey it. A Negro. Master Farad came, he said, you're not Negroes and colored folks.
That's right.
You're the black Asiatic man.
Yes, sir.
Folks.
That's right.
You're the black Asiatic man.
Yes, sir.
Now, if a person don't want to be the original Asiatic man, what does he wants to be?
That's a good question.
All right, now in 1930, previous to 1930, black folks don't call him black.
No.
That's right. I had a nephew. I used to call him black just to see him get mad because I know he could not run me. That's right. We wouldn't fight. I just did it. I'd get off and I'd walk up ahead of him a little piece and then I'd look back at him and I'd say, black. He'd start at me, but he could not run me. Faster I run, the more I said black. Well, what is it today? He's still living. What do you say today? I am black. Now, who started calling you black? It wasn't started not until 1930.
That's right.
1929, you couldn't call a black man black.
That's right.
1929, I'll just say previously to 1930, you couldn't find Holy Qur'ans in black people's hands.
That's right.
Well, was there any Arabs around with them? Yes. Plenty of Arabs was here. Previously to 1930 or 31, 32, you didn't hear hardly anything about a holy city, Mecca, right? Who told you? Then, when you learn about it, the devils had always been going there. And here we sitting down here, clapping our hands, saying, free at last, free at last, free at last. Yeah, you get free at last if you live to see the last.
Right. That's right. Yes, sir.
When did you get free?
Good question, brother. Oh, that is right.
Some people said, no, I ain't talking about this body. I'm talking about my soul being free. Go look in the mirror and see if you can see it. See if you can see your soul. Holy Quran Bible both teaches you soul, don't it?
Yes, right.
But you got to know what it's talking about when it's talking about soul. Muhammad, Abdul, coming about. And here we run around here with a book on our arm.
That's them.
Right.
I got it. I know it. And here come a Christian around. He got his Bible under his arm.
Yeah, that's
Right.
Here both of them.
Go ahead, Supreme.
One got the Bible, the other got the Quran. I know it.
Right.
I know what it is. Christian said, now you see, you just don't know the Bible. You just don't understand it. It's just not like what you talking about. All right, if you show them how to read that, they still say, that ain't it. This arm with the Quran in his arm. He said, no, I one time was with the Bible years ago. But I got the Quran now. Oh, yeah, one on here.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah, one. Oh, yeah, both of them. Well, both of them. One of them got these things. Yeah, both of them. I'm going to talk about it.
Talk about it.
Bible and the Quran. Now, both parties don't know either book.
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
Both parties don't know the Quran, don't know the book.
That's right.
If black man and black woman today understood the Quran,
That's right.
That's right.
they would do better than what they are doing.
That's right.
And they will not be trying to be so much themselves.
That's right.
That's right.
If the Christians understood the Bible, they would go tell Reverend Culpepper, say, listen, old good buddy, this Sunday morning you gonna preach the Quran and tell the truth about it, or you must tell us who we are and preach the truth to us, or you don't preach James' version today.
That's
That's
right.
right.
And we failed.
Oh, yeah.
This one ain't got a lot of them. I got a whole lot. I got a big one upstairs, bigger than this one. All peckerwoods.
That's right. That's right.
All of them. It's pictures in the Bible. Quran don't have pictures in it.
That's right.
Muhammad didn't believe in pictures. Well, they didn't make any. Huh? Did he? Who made pictures during the time of Muhammad? 1,400 years ago. Who drew the pictures? They had to do it by hand.
That's right.
And they did draw it on paper. Why today we got to be so much knowing
That's right.
of this book and the Quran?
Yeah.
Not only that, no, just wait with me. See, it'll be next year before we get another Saviours Day. Just be quiet and wait a minute.
Take your time.
Don't go just because I'm a dumb man.
Oh,
Don't do that. Plenty far dumber than what I am.
That's right.
I ain't talking about you though.
I know.
See, I ain't gonna talk about you. No, I want to teach you.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Listen. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You can see some of our people with the Quran under their arm, and they got a stick about a limb about
That's right.
walking down the street. Some saying I'm Abraham, some saying I'm Moses,
That's true.
Yes, sir.
walking down the street with him. All right, now, who is you really is? What are you and where you come from? What are you? What nationality are you? What nationality are you? No, you're not an African. African, Afro-America, no.
Right. Right. On that, brother.
Amen.
Right.
Master Farad Muhammad, when he came, he taught us who we are.
That's right.
That's right, brother.
That's right.
You don't see nowhere in the lessons or in the teachings of Master Farad Muhammad where he said we was Africans or Negroes, colored folks,
Right.
tappings or shines or anything like that.
That's right.
Right.
How can you call me an African I just told you what happened when you come to Africa, right?
Yes, sir.
That was you going to Africa. No man's land. There was no black people seen in Africa when you went there.
Okay. Yes, sir.
No white people, red or green, in Africa.
That's right.
What were you? Master Farad said, you were, or is, rather, you was and is an Asiatic man.
That's right, sir.
Yes, sir.
Asia. Asiatic man. Why does the name Asia have to be in it? To be added? Why you got to be called that? Is because that before the making of these other people, the earth was not cut up into parts. It was called Asia. The earth is Asia all over.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
And we being the first people on the earth, we are known as Asiatic people.
Yes, sir.
That's right, brother.
Try the word. Go before some high scholars or white people. Tell them when they call you Afro or African. See, they'll call you African in a minute. Because they know that's where they come and got us from.
That's right. That's
But
right.
they don't know a thing about before then.
That's right. That's right.
He don't have that knowledge. The same like he don't have the knowledge of the Torah of the Bible, like he have the knowledge of the Injil,
That's right.
which is the New Testament. Torah is the Old Testament.
Yes, sir.
He don't have that knowledge of the Old Testament like he have of the Injil. If so, he would have destroyed all of the knowledge in the Old Testament like he destroyed all the knowledge in the Injil. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
All right, now let's take the Quran. Well, you must don't believe in the Quran. Oh, yeah, I believe in it. Believe in the Bible, too. Yeah. Well, you don't believe in the Christians, do you? Yeah.
That's
I
right.
believe peoples are Christians,
Yeah.
but you are not. Because you can't be one
That's right.
unless you become a white man.
That's right, brother. That's right. That's right. Oh, yeah.
Walking around here talking about I'm a Christian.
Ain't that something?
No, black. Just think about it. But two black people in a white church, they don't want you in there. You fought your way in it.
Right.
They don't want you there.
That's right.
Put two black people in a white church where nothing in there but white people there. Every white devil sitting in there will look,
That's right. That's it.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
and some of them will just sit and gaze at you.
That's right.
That's right.
They do that.
Yes, sir.
And that is the person that we desire integration with, right?
Think about that.
Just because a man by the name of Martin Luther King said he had a dream.
Think about that.
Listen.
A dream. How many dreams are true?
Right.
Think about
Get
that.
the kid.
That's right.
If they was all true, brother, that's one time I sure would have a pocket full of money because I'd get on that number, wouldn't you? It's always true I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
My sadness is that, well, I need me a brand new Lincoln yet. I want me one of them nice gold ones. I'm going to fan it down this morning. That evening I got my Continental. Right?
That's right.
Why? Because I dreamed it.
You dream it. That's right.
Better not try it now, John.
That's right.
They're going to take your money. You're gonna throw snake eyes.
That's right. That's right.
Look how smart the devil was. How he raised your numbers to $1 million, right?
Yes, sir.
Keep up with how much that they have made offing people.
That's right. Right.
How many of our people have been successful? You play every day, every week or whatnot when it comes out. How many of them gets those big numbers? Huh? No. So Martin Luther King dreamed.
Oh, yeah, not even.
How many of you would like to see your daughter walking down the street with hand in hand with a white boy? Hold up your hand.
I will. I can trying to kill it.
Well, brother, he don't have to walk down the street with my daughter. I like to take his head off when I see him. That's right. See, our people fear white people.
That's right.
Scared of
That's right.
it. Just like our people. You know my grandmother? She was a half white woman.
That's right.
My grandmother, my father's mother, was a half white woman.
That's right.
Now, she had fear beat into her. And she have told me how white men have whipped black women and black men. She have told me that. I asked her that. She died at my house since I was married. And she died in 1941. Her birthday, I'm scared to try to tell you because she didn't exactly know herself.
That's right.
But anyway, she was well up there. Now, I ain't talking about 75 or 80. She was past that. She was way up there. Now, we want to walk down the street hand in hand with white people. I will say this morning, if you had been seen walking down the street with a white woman like you see today, I will say this morning because it's, it haven't been long, you know what I mean?
That's right. That's right.
Before this come about. And they don't want to see it now.
That's right.
Brother,
There you go.
right there where you would end up at.
That's it.
You didn't have to go far either.
Oh,
That's
sir.
right.
2-3 steps and a rope was around your neck.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you.
Like we used to say, let me say it. Boys would say, see what they call a good-looking white gal, walking down the street, look at her and say, where there's a will, there's a way. The other one would say, yes, where there's a tree, there's a rope, too.
Yes, sir. That's right.
You understand me?
Yes, sir. My dad's face.
But he could take your black woman and do as he pleased.
That's right.
Master Farad Muhammad, in teaching us this kind of a doctrine, he said to us, he says, how many black people do you know have ever thought to burn up a human being?
Yeah.
How many? Don't. That's right. Black man don't never think about burning up one.
That's right.
He had the best chance in all the world when he was burning down all of the houses
Oh, yeah.
to go in and get him 2 or 3 and hang him up one of these lampposts and build a fire on them and burn him up.
That's right. They did. Oh, yeah.
If they had a did that, it would have been better. They would have understood.
Yeah.
Clans wouldn't be so handy to burn up cross in front of your
That's
yard,
right.
in your yard,
That's right.
and they burns them now.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
You think there's not many Klansmen today? They outnumber
Yeah, they do.
the number about 3 times now than they did here not long ago.
Oh, yes. That's right.
When they was in their big uproaring, Klansmen today number more. You be talking to a Klansman and don't know it.
That's right.
Now let me say some more. You got black people now call themselves Klansmen.
Western Klan.
Am I right? Do you know it? Do you know it? I knows it. I know it. All right. They said, don't call the white folks the devil. They are not the devil. All right. Do they teach black folks this the devil? Yes. What religion teach white people that black people is the devil? Mormons. Right.
That's right.
That's right. They teach us it. Black folks is the devil. And now we say white folks is the devil. No, they're not. Man, when is we gonna wake up?
That's right.
When-
Yes, sir.
I got a little while longer. When is we gonna understand self? Ask a lot of Muslims today, what was the real purpose of Master Farad Muhammad coming to us?
Yeah.
What was the real purpose of his coming? They don't know. Plenty of them don't know.
That's right.
The messenger taught me, he said his real purpose was for us to unite ourselves together. His real purpose. He said that's why that he would give the history all the time. You didn't ever hear Master Farad Muhammad stand up and talk like what I'm talking about. When he come in, he gave the history that day. And on Wednesday night, if he should be present, he had questions for a night for you to ask him. And he answered them just like that. Fast as you could open your mouth, he answered the question just like that. The messenger said that he could go as far back by heart as 150,000 years reciting history by heart. Some people say, when the messenger said that he could speak 16 languages and write 10. Some people say, oh, he can't be God if that's all he can do. That's enough to prove that he's God.
That's right. That's right.
Now listen, that's what I'm going to say now. I said that's enough to prove he's God, right? Because God don't speak but one language.
That's right. That's right.
Got proof, John? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
This is a Holy Quran.
Yes, sir.
Right.
It's written in 2 languages, Arabic and English.
Yes, sir.
Now, which language did God speak?
Arabic.
He spoke Arabic, didn't he?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Why?
Pure.
It was pure than any other language.
That's right.
A lot of the kings in the Eastern world today, they won't even speak this language.
That's right.
They have a translator to do it. They have been to the messenger's house.
Right.
Sit there. Wouldn't even speak it. They said to the messenger through their translator, I do not speak the bastard language.
Thank God.
That's right. That's right.
Look, it is a bastard language because it got everything in it. Well, just say you got hypocrite talk, you got backslider talk, you got all kind of bad words in it.
That's right.
And then you got German, you got French, you got all of this all mixed up in the English language. He's worse than a bastard.
Yes, sir.
We today must wake up.
Yes, sir. That's right.
All of your black peoples in the streets, look at them.
That's right.
Look at them. I talked with a man about 3 weeks ago over telephone. He called me. He says, is you the Supreme Minister John Muhammad? I said, yes. He said, do you heal? I said, well, yeah and no. He says, well, I won't call his name. You might know him and go back and tell him. So he says, well, I heal. And I can heal any disease. I said, well, that's good. You can heal any disease, that's all right. I says, God bless you. You can heal any disease. I says, there's people in the hospital and they are full. I says, I know, because I'm always down there looking at something. I says, I know. So he says, well, I can heal you. I said, no thanks.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right, brother. That's right.
I said, no thanks. For one cause. I said, if you can heal me or heal anybody, so why don't you go down to the hospital?
That's right. That's right.
I said, look at all these hospitals around here, and you're talking about healing me? Go down there and heal them black people down there in that hospital.
That's right.
I said, you got plenty of Christians down there believe in healing.
That's right.
That's right.
Go heal them. Well, you see, I ain't supposed to do that. I said, Jesus didn't care who came to him.
That's right.
That's right.
I said, he healed them. According to the book, I said, he never healed not one man. Never did heal a man. That's right. You who is sitting here today and don't have Islam, you can't have Islam not until you do something for yourself.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
You that's sitting here now, you can't even do not one thing not until you first do something for yourself.
Yes.
There's three rather, in the Bible that speaks that was healed, right?
Yep.
2 blind men and a lame man. That was healed. We won't count Lazarus. You know that's you. We won't say nothing about him. You know
Yes,
that's
sir.
you. So the man that sit at the beautiful gate when Peter and John was going in the synagogue, he asked them, says, don't pass by me at the gate. Forgive me something. Peter said, silver and gold I don't have it, but such as I have, I give it to you. Can you walk? He said, no, I never walked in 40 years. Peter said, well, get on up and walk then. He said, do you believe in Jesus Christ? He said, yeah. He said, well, there's no reason that you shouldn't walk. Get on up. He said, I can't walk. I ain't walked in 40 years. Peter said, get up.
Yes, sir.
So finally he started trying to get up. First couple of times he fell back into his seat. Peter looked at him, he said, he can walk, can't he, John? John said, yeah. Told him, say, get on up and walk. So he kept trying. After a while, legs began to get stronger, stronger. So Peter said, come on in. And he went into the synagogue with Peter and John. Everybody's eyes was like this. Here come the lame man. Who made him to walk? But what did he have to do? He had to try to walk. If he hadn't tried, he'd been sitting there telling right now, saying, I can't walk. He had to try it. He had to do something for himself.
That's right.
Now what about you? That is you. What about you? We don't try to do anything for ourselves as a nation of people. As fast as one come and try to tell us something, to do something, we soon get rid of him. And if he dies, another one come up, say he's no good. And some would take his knowledge to shield what they got.
Right.
And it was told to us how this would come about. It was told. Look, brother and sister, if you don't try to get in a nation which is your own black nation, you will never get in there, because the time is at hand and hell is right round the corner and the grave is dug in front of your door.
That's right.
I'm telling you facts. I ain't trying to heal you. I'm just trying to tell you the truth. So the truth I'm telling you will heal you. But you got to do something for yourself. And doing something for yourself, you have got to get in your own nation.
That's right.
Listen, brother and sister, it won't be long now. I ain't far from it. I got my time set this time, don't worry.
Yes, sir.
Just be patient. You see, I sit up all night. I told you how I sit up all night with the messenger, did I?
Yes, sir.
All right, but can't you, as Jesus says, sit here with me 1 hour while I pray? Can't you get just a little while? Like the messenger was telling me, he says, a man and woman, black man and woman, all of them praying on their knees to go to heaven when they die. Rest. When they get to heaven, they're going to sit down and rest. They made a song of it, didn't they? When I get to heaven, I'm going to rest my wearied soul. One preacher said once, I heard him say that when he died, get to heaven, he says, when you come there and look for me, if you don't see me at the welcome table, you see me down on Hallelujah Street. If you don't meet me on Hallelujah Street, come down by the pool and you'll see me bathing my wearied soul. Oh boy, when he was going on and jumping about and snorting and spitting all over his rostrum, people just jumping up and down, whooping and hollering when he said he'll be bathing his wearied soul. A big liar, he should have had his behind whipped. Right there and then, because he was making other people to believe that will be true.
That's right.
Because he was the preacher.
Right.
And he was the liar. Back to the healing. When the blind man sitting by the wayside heard that Jesus was coming by that way, what did he do? He went making noise. Son of David, have mercy on me. He didn't say the Son of God, did he?
No, sir.
He said the Son of David.
That's right.
He was still wrong
That's right.
because he wasn't the son of David. He was the son of Joseph.
That's right.
That's the devil writing in there like that.
That's right.
But look, When Jesus, the day Jesus got, they went up to him, told him, said, hush, man. Says, the master is here. And the master Jesus said to him, if he stops, the stones will cry out. If he stops his noise. What did that mean, brother? Huh? Stones will cry out. If this blind man just stopped his noise. All right. You don't know. I'll tell you what it is. If you making a noise here in America,
Yes, sir.
if you make a noise here in America, and you know, and they know that you are blind, deaf, and dumb, having no knowledge of self, but you are making a great noise for self, what is the stone? The stone is a hard-hearted person, right?
That's right.
So if you stop now, he'll make them, the devils, cry out. Somebody got to make this noise for this blind man.
That's right.
So you keep on making your noise. I don't mean in the dope addicts and whatnot. I don't mean that kind of way. I don't mean a man drinking all the whiskey he can find,
That's right.
smoking all the cigarettes and all of the local weeds he can find. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a man that is blind, deaf, and dumb to self. He
Right.
must wake up to it and leave those things alone.
Right.
Then you will be healed. Look at another man wanted to be healed. He was down at the pool of Bethesda. Lame man. That pool of Bethesda, preachers make you think that it's some good big place out here and it's all good and clean and everything. No. It was a sheep pool where the sheep goes in to wallow at. And he was sitting there. This is a parable made. He was sitting there and he heard that if he could get there and put his foot in the water, he would be healed because he was lame. He would be healed. So he got there and he'd sit there, just sit there every day until the angel come by. Listen good, brother.
Yes, sir.
Till the angel come by. When the angel come by, he looked at him. He said, what you doing here? You want to be healed? He said, yes. He said, well, you go back home and take up your bed and walk. Huh?
Yes, sir.
He waiting to get in the pool. He said, but every time I get ready, I know the angel's supposed to be here to trouble this water, but every time that I get ready to step into the water, somebody else steps in before I do. Who is that stepping in before I do?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Teach
Do
me.
you know? You want to know? I tell you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Come on.
Teach
Every nation that comes into America gets freedom, justice, and equality before you do.
me. That's right.
They are healed before you get. You know the answer better than I do. You tell it. No. No. All of these things is a sign of us.
Yes, sir.
Even to the jackass that Balaam was riding. After he learned that a man was sitting on his back, beating on him, he run every which way trying to get rid of him. Said, let me get rid of this thing off my back. He's running every which way. I'll get rid of this thing.
Go ahead, David.
Who is that? That's you.
That's right.
That's you. You want to get rid of the white man. Right?
Yes, sir. That's right.
And we say, what have the white man done to us? You can't see it? If you don't know it, go down to some library that got the books that will let you have them.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Plenty of the librarians today won't let you read those books.
That's right.
They got them snatched back.
True.
That's right.
You know what I read from a book in the library? That was a Devil's Patty Riders, which is now Klansmen. They went to lynch a man, black man, and they caught him in the bed with his wife, asleep. They went in, and when they did, they tied him. Excuse me, won't be long. I'll be through in a minute. They tied him to a chair so he couldn't move. They took his wife while she lay in the bed, opened her limbs, tied one to this post, one to that post at the foot of the bed, tied her hands at the head of the bed, and stood back with a 12-gauge shotgun and rammed it about 2 inches into her vagina, right? And pulled the trigger. You like that man, don't you? Now, but that was then. That was them doing that. That one out there in the street would do the same thing that one did.
That's right.
You got proof, John? Yeah. The Bible tells you.
Yes, sir.
Bible tells you, say you was worse than your fathers. And they is.
That's right.
Look how cunning they were to you. Open the doors of their church
Right.
so you could come in. All right, now they're trying to get a black pope. If the smoke just turned black, right? You were looking for the smoke to turn black the last time. But still the white smoke come up.
Yes, sir.
They know what to burn to make white smoke. And they know what to burn to make black smoke.
Yes, sir. Teach, Freeman.
I watch my car sometime. When I start, a big roll of black smoke will come out. I know what's happening. I need a tune-up.
Yes, sir.
I know. Then when it's dying down, white smoke gonna come out. All right, now make your pope. The black smoke was first. No. We praying for Mr. Jesse Jackson to become president, right?
Go ahead, teach.
And look how many people didn't want Jesse Jackson for president of your own kind.
That's right.
Why didn't you take him and lay him across a log and take a whip and wear out his butt?
Right.
Because he didn't want his own brother to become. I talk barefooted sometimes, excuse me, sister. Please.
That's all right.
But that's true.
Yes, sir.
Very worse.
Now, Mr. Jackson, I don't care who he is, as long as he's black. I ain't
Yes,
just
sir.
pointing out Jackson.
That's right.
As long as he's black.
Yes, sir.
If you got enough education under your hat to rule a country of 50 states like America or any other country, if you think you can rule it, why don't you get with your own people and says, let us get in a country of our own. I got the knowledge to be president. Huh? How don't you do it? Now, you know why he won't do it? He still wants to walk down the street hand in hand with the devil. Now I prove to you that you sitting here don't like a devil. You got a child. Are you? You walking down the street with a white woman. white man walking down the street with a black woman, and you're meeting each other. It's 4 of you, right?
Yes, sir.
Black and white man, a black man and a white woman. Black woman and a white man. Here we meeting each other. Who do you look at first? You're going to look at the black one, and you don't want to see that black woman with that white man, right?
That's right.
Though you got a white woman hung on to your side, right?
That's right.
And the same way it is with the white man and the white woman. They don't want to see you with them. Cut the head open and look in their brains and see how it's working. White man meets you and he with your black woman and you with his white woman. First thing he want to do is lynch you. Because he been free all of his days with your black woman. And you ain't with his white woman. Because you scared of white folks.
That's right.
Teach them.
Tell me black folks is not still scared of white folks. They got to be by their actions. Actions count. Come here. Come here and hear the truth about Messenger Elijah Muhammad's teaching. I know it from A to Z and from Z to A.
Yes, sir.
I know the meaning of the 6,000-year history, inch by inch. I know the meaning of your present rule that you use in your drawing or whatever you use it in. I know why you got it. I know where it came from. Don't tell me John don't know what he's doing or what he's talking about. If I didn't know what I was doing, I'd have quit before I got started good. For one good reason. Because that I know that black people is not going to believe this John. They didn't believe John in the past. No, they didn't. No, they didn't believe him. That's all right. Whether they believe me or don't believe me, I'm still going to make true my promise, my word that I promised with God Almighty, who came in the person of Master Farad. It was him. Some people think that the messenger gave us this flag. He did not do so. The first flag that we ever had in the temple of Islam, Master Farad Muhammad drawed it on the blackboard with chalk. And it got so it was erased so many times till we trace it back again. And we took paint then and painted like this. After he had formed this flag for us, I painted the first red flag in the Temple of Islam with paint. I did. After Master Farad Muhammad drew it. All right. You say you did so much. You know all about Master Farad, don't you? No, I don't. What man knows all about God? It's a fool who think you know all about God. It was Master Farad Muhammad who told me to mount the stand. It was Master Farad Muhammad who talked with the messenger concerning me demonstrating this flag every Wednesday night. I did it. I told the meanings of the flag. I told what the F was, the J was, the E and the I in Islam. read the moon and the star. It was me after the secretary who did it before me. I'm talking about myself. After the secretary did it before me on Wednesday nights. He did a thing that he should not have did, and he was taken away from his post. Then I was put in his place, and I began to do it. Every Wednesday night. My brother, they know I did it. F for freedom, J for justice, E for equality, I for Islam. Word Islam meaning, I owns it all. I, black man of Asia, owns the freedom, owns the justice, owns the equality. And the red is a token of the sun. The moon, yeah, is a token of holding the water in its bounds. The star is a token of your five senses. From this point equals 72 degrees. 5 times 72 equals 360 degrees, which makes the circle. Come on, Mason, if you're here. I'll tell it in a minute. I ain't in the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm in the right place at the right time. And I will stand when I said my word is bond.
Yes, sir.
I will stand for my throat. Huh. What? Oh, yes, I would. I would stand for my bowels to be emptied out on the ground.
Yes, sir.
My throat cut from ear to ear.
Yes, sir.
You said before you revealed the secret, right? I say if I keep it a secret. Oh, brother. Let's unite and get together. Unite and get together. Unite yourself together. Thank you, brothers and sisters. What do I want with a secret that I can't tell nobody about it?
That's right, that's right.
What do you want with that kind of a secret? The book says, in that day, all secrets will be made known, right?
That's right.
I never was made a Mason, that's why I can tell you.
That's right.
I can tell it. Master Farad made me mine and told me I was the daddy of it.
That's right.
You don't get no higher than 33. Some say 33 and a half. What the half for? Yeah, man, here talking about that he rose from a dead level perpendicular
Yes, sir.
on the square.
Yes, sir.
This is a dead level, right?
That's right.
What is that? That's straight and upright, huh?
Yes,
on the square. How many degrees would that be from here to there? 90, right?
Right.
All right. Brother, you got 33?
You're cold. That's cold, man.
It's cold? Now if you come back to 32, what is that? Freezing. So he's still a fool, right?
That's right.
They learned the name Allah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they learned it.
Right.
But what good does it do? Plenty of preachers is 33-degree Masons, as high as he can go.
Right.
But he's still standing before you,
Right.
telling you that Jesus died and went to heaven and now sitting on the right-hand side of the Father.
They saying.
And that someday you're going to rise up and you're going to heaven and you're going to meet Jesus. And if you're not a good Christian, he's going to send you to hell.
Yes, sir.
You forgot where you was living while you were now.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead. Take it.
Did not you know every letter in here has a meaning?
Yes, sir.
Try some of your Muslims. Say, what is the meaning of I? What is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of L? What is the meaning of A? What is the meaning of the N?
That's right.
Try some of them. See, can they tell you its meaning?
Yes, sir.
Find one. Say, listen, I know another man knows what that is. Come go to his temple with me, John Muhammad.
Yes, sir. That's right.
That's some why. This is red, and it ends up red, and the white is in the middle, and it ends up
Yes, sir.
white, still in the middle.
Yes,
That's the
sir.
why.
That's the way it is.
Wake up, man. Wake up, sisters.
Yes, sir.
You can know here.
That's right.
That's right.
I tell it to you, show as this brother shining his light in my face.
That's right. That's right.
I don't care.
That's right.
All white folks is the devil.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Right. You still got
I got 3 minutes to 5, and at 5 o'clock I'm going to shut my mouth. I want to see every one of you back.
Yes, sir.
Again.
That's right.
Come back again.
That's right.
Learn of yourself.
That's right. That's right.
We have a school here to teach old as well as the young.
That's right. That's right. Yes, sir.
What is we going to do? Just sit down and look to white folks all the time,
That's right.
and we ain't got nothing yet?
That's right.
100 long years up from slavery, and we don't own 1 grain of
That's right.
corn as a nation. As a nation, I'm talking about. And then up from slavery 100 years. And here we go. Go and get a degrees. Go and get a degrees from the white folks, and here we come right back to the white folks, telling them, I got a degree, I got the bachelor's, ABCs, and so on, and the BBD's degrees. I got all of that. He know you got it. Now, where you going to teach at? You going back to them, right?
That's right.
Why don't you go to your own kind?
That's right.
Say, let us set up us a school over here for our own self, for our children. We were here yesterday. We had a nice little crowd.
Yes, sir.
Oh, praise be Allah,
Yes, sir.
the Lord of all the world. Brothers and sisters, we can't do it all today because this is not your Savior's day.
That's right.
This is the Savior's day.
Right.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
This is Master Farad Muhammad's Savior's day.
Right.
One scripture says he was a hero
Yeah.
on a snowy day.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. Look how he did Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He went in the fire furnace, didn't he?
That's right.
Now, ain't nobody went in no fire furnace.
Listen.
You think you go try walking in the fire?
That's right. You already.
You see how long you'll last. No. Nobody go in no fire furnace. It was you
That's right.
that's in the fire furnace.
Yeah. Are we been?
And when
Yeah, we.
you had stayed there and made 310 long years of slavery,
Yes, sir.
plus one so-called free 100 years, then they saw the fourth one. Each 100 years meant a person. And after the three was seen in there and they was obeying God instead of obeying the devil, after they saw them there, then the king, he wanted to see too, because he said he defied 7 more times. Why you use the word 7?
Yes, sir.
He did 7 more times, make it good and hot for him. And they did it.
That's right.
When they did it, then they said, how many did you put in here? He said 3. I see 4.
Yes, sir.
And one looked like the Son of Man.
Yes, sir.
All right, now, in the fourth, after 7, the 310 long years, now in the 100 year, which make the 400 years, complete slavery in another sense of knowledge. 310 physical and knowledge. But now we'll move some of the shackles away from you, and we will move you into a shackle of brain. Now, you can't do nothing now because you have learned to love me. And you say you're free? Free. So we see the fourth one now walking in the fire furnace
Yeah.
with these 3 boys, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego.
Yeah, that's right.
That's you. Look what kind of names they got.
Yes, sir.
Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. Those are Jewish names. Now, if you notice yourself, you say, well, look, we were supposed to serve this man 400 years like the book says. Now in the 400 years, here is another turning point after the 400 years. And in this turning point, we see in 1930, God made his visit to tell us that we was the God and the owner of the universe.
That's right.
We don't want to be that. We don't want to be original. We don't want to be owners of anything
That's right.
because we never had anything.
That's right.
Just like the person I started to say, the only person that wants to go to heaven and eat and drink milk and honey and sit down to the welcome table and eat and go down to the pool and wash yourself and come back is the one that never had anything. That's the man who wants to live forever.
Yeah.
That's how come the Christian religion can fool you today, in it, because you wants to live forever. You never had nothing. If you today was so that you could buy a brand new car every time you wanted to, you'd be all right, wouldn't you? You know that you got money, right?
That's right.
All right, well, then now make you poor. So you can't do it.
That's right.
Then you don't want that.
That's right.
You want to live forever. Because that the white man told you, don't make your heaven here on this earth. Build your heaven up above.
Oh, yeah, what you said?
He says,
Yeah, what you said?
Because when you die, you go to heaven.
Yeah, it is.
Flying around with wings on, just flying all over God's heaven, breaking down all the street lights and everything,
Oh, yeah.
drinking wine, making God to be a wino.
That's right.
We got wine serving up there in heaven to us. And you know the winos wants to go.
That's right. That's right.
Come on, brothers and sisters. I'm bringing my talk to close. I want to ask you a question. I don't want you to ask me one today. Go home and think it over, but I'm going to ask you one. Is there anybody here that wants to get into the Nation of Islam, wants to accept it, and remain with us here so that we can get something for ourselves? I want buses, little vans to transport our children back and forward to school. Come on and get with me. I'll do it. I'm not going to ask you to take care of me. I've already made 10 years here with people. Okay, brother, you can join if you want. You can go now and see the secretary back there. They'll take you. He'll take you. He's back there. You can get going. Now another one. Another brother likes to get onto his own kind in the Nation of Islam.
Yes, sir.
Now another one. Is there a sister would like to join in the Nation of Islam? Of course, you're not joining now. I'm saying join. You're only reclaiming that which your forefathers lost when you was brought here and put in slavery. You can't join it. You join the day that you was birthed into the world.
Yes, sir.
You was born Muslim.
That's right.
So we are happy of the one. That's what the book says.
Yeah, that's
That's
right.
right.
That's right.
That the angels rejoiced over one as though if it was 1,000.
That's
That's
right.
right. Yes, sir.
So however, brother and sister, thank good if you ashamed to get up. Go back there when we dismissed. Tell the brothers, the sister who back there, put me on the list.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
So I didn't want them people to see me join.
Listen.
Put me on the list.
That's right.
Secretary ain't gonna load a voice all right enough. They say, all right, I'll write you up right now. Jesus says, if you're ashamed to own me before men, I'll be ashamed to own you before my Father.
That's right.
If you're ashamed to own Islam, get into the nation which is yours,
That's right.
and I'm the only one that got it
Listen.
Listen.
from Master Farad Muhammad as he taught it, and the messenger as he taught it, and I knows the meaning of it.
That's right.
I'll be ashamed to own you before them.
That's right.
That's right.
He said he will come where his name is at.
Right.
And he named me.
Yes, sir.
Our last name is his.
That's right.
He said he'll come back to that place. Think about it. Come back every Sunday. You don't have to join today or reclaim today. Come back next Sunday and hear some more.
That's right.
Just don't go back where you came from.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
Help me with it. Help me.
Yes, sir.
We are poor and needy. The book speaks about it. In the Bible, it tells you that the poor and needy, and we are the poor and needy.
That's right, sir.
Get with us so that we can get rich. we, I don't say I, we
That's
get
right.
rich.
Oh, yeah.
You love money.
Yep.
That's right.
How many here hate money? Raise your hand. Hate money. Hate money. Well, that's all right then, brother. If you hate it, well, you hate it. You hate it. But as fast as you can get it, bring it here to the temple. We'll put it down so that it will help produce 2 school vans to transport our children back and forward to school.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to do this myself today,
Yes, sir.
and I'm closing, and I bring it to its end. If you believe in what I have said to you, you should reclaim your own today, if you
Right.
believe it. All of us as brothers. I don't care what you believe. All of us as brothers and sisters.
Right.
That's right.
Keep coming back.
Yes, sir.
You don't have to join next Sunday or reclaim your own title. But you will learn more and more and more about Islam and yourself and why Master Farad Muhammad come to unite us together.
Yes, sir. That's right.
We can't be united and say that we are against this one or that one. We can't be united like that. We have got to be in love with each other.
Right.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right.
That's right.
And that's what was taught to us. So come back next Sunday. The sisters have something out there to refreshing yourself with, to eat. Some juice, I guess. I don't know what they got. I'm just saying that, but just ask for what you want and they'll tell you what they ain't got. Now you might have to give a dime or two, but if you do, it is for the good of us and the good of you.
That's right.
You will be helping your own self. We don't look for help in the matter for just self. We look for the help of what one has that needs the help. The nation needs the help today. I'm talking about here in Detroit. You won't hardly see many other temples of Islam, if you can wait and let me say this, if you don't mind,
Yes, sir.
coming up. You can see them trying, just like we are. But as long as we are separated from each other, we will not build Mecca in
right.
the Western Hemisphere. Won't be built. I don't care how many followers some of us got. It will not be built in the Western Hemisphere because most of the leaders today is not looking at building the West to be looked at as Mecca. They look to the Mecca that they go to in Mecca, Arabia.
That's right.
There where everybody goes. There might be another one, another Mecca, someplace, which I saw one time for passed by about a second over TV. And the voice said that this is the real Mecca. No white people goes in there. The messenger told me when he come back from Mecca, he says, brother, he said, it is true that Mecca, you don't get no farther than 50 miles to it of an infidel. He said, there's a hand there. There's a hand there that written over that hand says, this is far as you go, infidel, talking to white people.
Yes, sir.
No white people enters that city. The messenger told me that. And I saw that over TV for about a second. And I saw a little girl in it. She had on a necklace. And this voice said, the necklace that this little girl have on is worth more than Henry Ford and Rockefeller put together. Now, that may be a little disturbing, but that's what I saw on TV. So I don't doubt a person if they says the Mecca, where you got to go through and throw stones. If you've been there, I guess you've been there. I haven't been there. I ain't been to not one of them. I ain't been nowhere but in hell.
That's right. That's right. They're all over me.
Been no.
Yes, sir.
There's lots of things that should be known, should be told to our people, so they can understand and know self. Today, we may not come back Saviours Day until, well, it won't be until next year. So, before that time, we're going to have something else, and I want you to come. We're not going to stop having something for you to come to hear the truth. You can hear it every Sunday, but what I'm talking about, we want to have special days that we can be together as one,
Yes, sir.
as one people. And if you come, and others see you coming, they will come to see what you found.
That's right.
And that way we can soon have our place filled with people. Now, brother and sister, we have paper, book that was written and published by me outside. Give a donation of what the book or the paper said. It's only a donation.
That's right.
That's right.
We're not asking you to buy it for $1. We're asking you to give that dollar as a donation. But still we're going to ask you for some in here.
That's right.
Because it is needed.
That's
It
right.
is needed.
That's right.
We all should give whatever that we can give. Don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt yourself. But give what you can give. Do that for us today and for yourself.
Yes, sir.
When you give here, you give into your own self.
That's
That's right. That's right.
10 years we've been trying to get our people to understand,
That's right.
That's right.
and I want Highland Park.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I want it because she's never about 100% black.
That's right.
That's right.
I want it. Help me get it.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
We're trying to have a temple on the east side. Trying to have one there. Help us to get it. Plenty of Muslims live over there.
That's right. That's right.
And then there's a lot of people who would reclaim their own over there, but it's just too far. They can't get over here.
Yes, sir.
So we go to them. As it says, Muhammad said, if the mountain don't come to him, he'll go to the mountain.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Master Farad Muhammad said, he said, I will go up a mountain 1 mile high to teach one of his people. He would go up that mountain to get to that one.
Yes, sir.
Now you say you follow him? Let us try to go up that mountain. But this mountain is not 1 mile high. This mountain is hundreds of miles high that we are up against to climb now. if you help me get to the people, we will have what we want. We will have it. I say again, I thank the people from Atlanta and elsewhere that is here.
Yes,
Brothers and
sir.
sisters, we were supposed to have some from California here today. Did they come, brother? Maybe they couldn't get away. But anyway, we have some here from time to time.
Yes, sir.
Don't have to be holidays or Saviours Day with some of them. They come anyway.
Right.
Well, that's good. So, whatever you see out there that brothers have, take it for your donation, for a donation. Give a donation for it. And pass the basket, brother, so that we can accomplish whatever that our brothers and sisters would give. You know, some people ask to give $50 and $100. I don't act that way. Give what you want to give. If you don't give us nothing, I still say all praises due to Allah, I told you the truth.
Right. That's right.
I have seen churches with congregation this large or this small get $300 and $400
That's right.
easy. Sure. Let us unite ourselves together for the sake of our coming children.
That's right. That's right.
How do you feel go home and say, my child got shot down because of a dope pusher, because that he had dope? He was a wino. He was a alcoholic. That sounds bad. My cousin killed his father last night because he didn't give him $5 to go get him a fix. That's back with his son saying that, or you saying, somebody else saying in the black. What's wrong with us? Come here and be with me. You stop that.
That's
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
Not you know that the devil's rather see Islam being taught to you like the messenger taught it taught us, than to see other people teaching Islam, and they are not trying to stop all of this drugs and stuff going on.
That's right.
We ain't gonna fight nobody to try to stop you, but we'll show you if you come in here, bring them in, we'll show you how they can stop.
That's right.
That's right.
No questions to be asked me. I have asked a question today. You
Yes,
can ask
sir.
me some question next Sunday,
Yes, sir.
but not today. We never did have questions to ask on Saviours Day.
That's right. That's right. Right.
So that's all, brother. But for today, of what you have heard, their tapes will be ready for you out there if you want them. Tape will be sold to you for $15 for a set of 3. We made 3 sets. So you get 3 sets for 15, 3 tapes. One is a set, and you get 3 of them for $15. That's $5 a piece.
That's right.
Some people charge you $25 or $30.
That's right.
That's
right.
Yeah.
You see how little we are? How we think of the people? Sure. Well, thank you if you should get them. Thank you if you should get them. We hope that you do. And play them. Let your friends hear them. Tell them where they can get a set at. You hear? You won't get none like these.
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
What I give you today, nobody else gonna give it to you like that.
That's right.
That's right.
I'm happy to see Brother Ali. I call him Charles X. Yes, sir. I'm happy to see you present, my dear brother.
That's right.
Come again. We both live in the same city. Come again. You visit us, we visit you.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
We are friends and brothers to each other. Yes, sir. I'm glad to see brother here
That's right.
in the same city. He have been here quite a few times.
Yes, he is.
And I pray, Allah, that we all come home to rest in the nation of Islam together. I can see the brother standing here. He's from Atlanta, Georgia. Him. I'm glad to see another brother here from Atlanta. Brother Muhammad. Stand up, Brother Muhammad. From Atlanta, Georgia. And this is the minister sitting behind me here, Minister Earl from Atlanta. They works real hard in Atlanta, Georgia. I was born 140 miles from there, south, going south. I was born 140 miles from there. I went there and Dr. Shabazz in Atlanta, he let his wife use one of his cars to drive me to Cordele, Georgia, 140 miles one way,
Right.
and bring me back.
Yes, sir.
I didn't have to drive 1 inch. I didn't buy, this I did, the gas tank was about halfway down and I filled it up. We stopped to get some coffee. And I said, let me fill it up. He said, no, he said that, don't you spend nothing. You see, do as you wish to be done by.
That's right.
Sure. No, not you driving the car and then he paying all of the gas. No. He drove me around in Atlanta there a lot of time. So the brother sitting behind me here. Buy gas? No, you don't buy no gas.
That's right.
That's brothers. If we all get together and do as we should do, when one visit the cities,
That's right.
you wouldn't have to pay hotel fare.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
That's right.
Temple would pay it for you
Right.
because we'd be one.
What?
But now we are so poor, so poor, we can't do that now.
That's right.
But praise be to Allah, we are on a good road, and we can do so by getting others to visit the temple, coming in with a good mind to do it, and we'll all be together as one.
Yeah.
I guess that brings us to a close, right? I would ask you to say something, but you can say something on your next visit. If you have ever noticed the messenger, he didn't ask people to say much on the Saviour's Day, right? So that's the way he worshiped up, because that was his Savior's Day.
Right.
So let us rise, ye Muslims, fight for your own, fight for your nation, and we will all be free. Fight for your nation, fight for your own. If we had been fighting for our own, for Islam, as long as we has been fighting for the devil and their own,
That's right.
by now we would have our own.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. Yes, sir.
The earth belongs to the righteous. Fight for your own. Allah give to you and I for a national. The sun, the moon, the stars, the best of his creation he has given to you. So let us rise, ye Muslims, fight for your own. Fight, O ye Muslims, fight for your own. Fight for your nation, and we will all be free. Fight for your nation, fight for your own. 400 years a slave for devil, lost from our own. So let us rise, ye Muslims, fight for your own. Fight, O ye Muslims, fight for your own. Allah give to you and I for a national, sun, the moon, the star, the best of his creation he has given to you. So let us rise, ye Muslims, fight for your own. Fight, O ye Muslims, fight for your own. You know, we never did have anybody to give us anything
That's right.
That's right.
but hell.
That's right.
When Master Farad Muhammad came, he gave us the best of his creation.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
Right.
Sun, the moon, and the star. And besides, he gave us Islam, which owns all of it.
That's
That's
right.
right.
We don't need no guns to fight somebody. The song says fight.
That's right.
What do you want with a gun?
That's right.
And all you got to do is to unite yourself together.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
That's the biggest camel, the messenger says, that you can get,
That's right.
That's right.
is unite yourself together.
That's right.
We have a nation, and it's called by his name. So let us rise, ye Muslims, fight for your own. Fight for ye Muslims, fight for your own. Fight for your nation, and we'll all be free. Fight for your nation, fight for your own. Thank you. Turn to the east and let's. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent and Merciful. All praise is due thee, Allah, the Lord of all the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful, the Master of the day of judgment in which we now live. Thee do we serve, and to thee do we beseech for thine help. O Allah, guide us on the right path, the path of those upon whom thou hast bestowed favors, not of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor of those who go astray after they have heard thine teaching. Say ye, Allah is one. Allah is he of whom nothing is independent, but upon whom he all depends. He begetteth not, nor is he begotten, and there is none like him. And I bear witness that none deserve to be served but Allah. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was thy true servant and last apostle. Ameen. Brothers and sisters, the messenger has always taught us that when we leave here, wherever we go, do nothing unto no one that we would not have done unto ourselves. Treat everybody right. And this means treat old blue-eyed snake.
That's right.
The devil, treat him right too.
That's right. That's the truth.
And you will clear all of his laws. Assalamu alaikum.
Today's speech.
Yes, they are.
I enjoyed the service. Positive. I really can't say when I feedback, but someone trying to get back sometimes.
All right, I'll be glad to have you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Allah bless you.
Okay, Allah bless us.
All right, how you doing?
I'm glad to be here too.